I just, in my head, instantly think of Kate Moss and the stairs, and I swung at him.
All right, well, joining us today to give us some insight into the case is entertainment lawyer Mitra Ahouraian. Welcome, Mitra.
Welcome, Mitra. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much.
So this Kate Moss. So Kate Moss and Johnny Depp, they were previously engaged in a relationship for 4 years. We saw the fist bump. What does this mean, having her come to give a testimony, and what do you think we can expect to hear from her?
Well, I got to say, the flip side of that fist bump, was Amber Heard's lawyers definitely, their stomachs dropping down hearing that, because that was a huge goof on her part. Normally, evidence of a prior bad act can't be brought in as testimony. So when she brought up Kate Moss, that opened the door to Johnny Depp being able to call her as a witness. So,
And there's still...
Because they probably already know what she's going to say.
oh yeah.
They were
so
just hoping that they had a way to get it in.
That's exactly right.
They still have a close relationship.
They
now,
have
so
a-
we can
they-
expect that's going to be favorable to Johnny to have Kate Moss there, right?
Yeah, they still
Yeah.
have affection, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think.
So, but strategic for her, for his lawyers, because they probably already know what she's going to say. They just
Yeah.
couldn't get it in until
right.
Amber's lawyers made that mistake.
Yeah, it's hearsay evidence or hearsay rumors that were brought up. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So let me ask this. So if this whole case was to clear Johnny Depp's name, did he clear his name? And what happens if he wins? Like, does he really get $50 million from Amber Heard?
Well, first off, that's that $50 million, that question of if you're suing somebody for X amount of money, are you actually ever going to recover that? That's a challenge in every lawsuit. Does Amber Heard have $50 million? I don't know. So Johnny Depp did not bring this lawsuit, as you mentioned, to get $50 million from Amber Heard. The rest of his career is worth far more than $50 million. So if he was really trying to collect $50 million, the amount, it would not be $50 million. So he's doing it to clear his name. And this is a question I'm asking so many people, because I'm wondering, he knew that all the good, bad, and ugly was going to come out. He was prepared for that. As a lawyer, I know his lawyers had that conversation with him from the start. Johnny, this stuff is all going to come out. Are you prepared for it? Is it worth it? I might recommend you not bring this lawsuit. He chose to bring it. He knew it was going to come out, and he was confident in his fans supporting him throughout the process.
Johnny Depp's lawyer, Camille Vasquez, has actually has been making the news herself. And also, talk to us about the pressure on his legal team and how that affects their bond.
Yeah. So first off, everybody loves Camille Vasquez. Everybody loves speculating on the relationship he might have with Camille Vasquez.
Oh, boy.
And I'll tell you, from representing celebrities and lawyers, where you're helping people through a crisis, through one of the most difficult things that they might be going through in their lives, you're going to have an affection and a caring relationship with your client. And that's a normal thing. And that is not necessarily indicative of something more, as much as we want to turn this whole thing into a reality show and make this whole romantic thing. But there's definitely, when you have cameras in a courtroom and when you're representing a celebrity, there is always going to be a lot more pressure.
Okay, so Mitra. Okay, here's my question. Johnny Depp suing for defamation. First, can you define defamation? Because I don't think people really understand what's really happening. Define it for me real fast.
I absolutely can. So for an average person, all you have to do to establish defamation is just show that somebody said something about you that was not true, published it, and that resulted in damage. It doesn't matter, the intention of it does not matter. But for a public figure like Johnny Depp or any celebrity, they have to go one step beyond that and show that the person knew that it was false, that it was malicious, that they either knew it was false or had a reckless disregard for the truth. That is a very high standard. It's something that's very, very, very hard for anyone to prove, which is why you don't normally see celebrities bring these defamation lawsuits.
Right. So Amber said in her Washington Post op-ed that this was not about Johnny, it was about what happened after she escaped her marriage. But if I was Johnny Depp's legal team, I would just get her on the stand and ask her, if you weren't talking about Johnny, who were you talking about?
That's a great question. And it's a fair question, but I think that Amber Heard would get on the stand and say, Johnny, this article was not about you. This article was about me and my experience. And that's her take on it.
An experience with who? Name the person. See, I do it like Perry Mason, when you always go, name it, and then Hamilton Burger, and then What you think? What you think? You think I get it? You got to get in their face. You got to do, who you talking about, Amber? And then
we got to get rid of Camille Vasquez.
Oh, yeah.
Get you in. Step in.
okay.
I just want to ask you again about the damage. You say defamation is about damage caused. Is it emotional damage? Is it economic damage?
Yeah, you got to show an economic damage. So part of the boring testimony that everyone's complaining about is boring in this stage. We have a lot of experts coming in from the entertainment industry talking about how people negotiate how much they're going to get paid and what those numbers are worth. And so in Amber's case, she's saying, okay, well, I got $2 million for Aquaman. What was I going to get on the next movie? Her guy comes in and says, well, you double that. Or we also anticipate endorsements and we anticipate this. So you bring in experts to try to guess. It's all speculative. None of it's real. You try to guess what you would make going forward in your career. And that's another thing that's really, really hard in all lawsuits.
So given that, and that this is supposed to be the final week of this trial, who made the stronger case? And given the evidence that we've seen and the testimony that we've heard, and what kind of precedent could this trial then set?
Well, what's really interesting about this case, besides the fact that we are seeing a celebrity trial for the very first time, aside from like an O.J. Simpson, from start to finish, because most celebrities like to settle these lawsuits really early on. You don't hear about them going to trial, and you certainly don't get cameras in the courtroom.
Right.
So they are, in essence, or I would say Johnny Depp to begin with, brought this lawsuit to use the court as a platform for him to tell his story. So the precedent to answer that question could be more people arguing to get cameras in the courtroom and use the courtroom as your huge social media platform to get everything out that you want to tell in your story and control the narrative by having lawyers and witnesses control the narrative for you.
So fascinating. So fascinating, Mitra. We are just getting started here on The Talk. Coming up next, though, if kids become addicted to social media, parents in one state may soon be able to sue the platforms. Mitra's going to stick around to answer some of our questions on that subject, so don't go away.